Hey, what's happening, Pixar fans? How's everyone doing? Dan Taylor from danthepixarfan.com here, back for another long-awaited review. Between all my Lightyear and Turning Red coverage, plus everything in between, it's been a lot to squeeze in, but anyway, today I'm finally taking a detailed look at another brand new Wave 2 Mattel Pixar featured favorites set. This time, Monsters Inc. inspired, featuring what I call Date Night Mike Wazowski, and the first ever posable action figure of Celia in this scale. About 20 years too late, but she's finally here, guys, and she looks amazing. This is now my 5th featured favorites review so far, so you guys should know the drill if you've been watching my content for a while. But for anyone new here, here's a quick explanation of what this line is, but I also encourage you to watch my other reviews for anyone interested in learning more. In short, the Pixar featured favorites line is a subcategory of Mattel's Pixar 7-inch scale action figure collection and is officially described as a curated line for collectors that celebrates the ever-expanding Pixar universe of whimsical, unexpected heroes and funny new friends that have won the hearts of fans for more than 25 years. And that's it, simply put. I mean, the figures in this line really seem to be more or less the same quality as Mattel's standard 7-inch scale Pixar action figures, but I think it's more of the character selection, the additional accessories, and overall presentation that makes this line a bit more geared toward slightly older fans and adult collectors. So this set, as well as the other Wave 2 featured favorite sets, are available right now at Target and Target.com, as well as Amazon.com for $21.99, and this is a fantastic 2-pack, guys. I really appreciate that the Mike figure has a totally different facial expression than the standard previously released Mike. His pleasant in-love expression is great. And then Celia is obviously amazing. It's so cool to finally have a figure of her that, by the way, can also totally be used with Mattel's Monsters at Work 7-inch scale figures as well, since she was obviously a part of that series, and I love the little sushi accessories that we get here too, not to mention how everything is themed around the iconic scene from Monsters Inc. when Mike and Celia have their date night at Harryhausen's. So yeah, as far as the packaging, it's the same layout as the other Pixar featured favorites figures, but this time, of course, with the different Monsters Inc. elements. The back here showcases the figures, the accessories, and highlights some of the posability, and then it shows off the rest of Wave 2, which includes a Crush and Squirt 2-pack, which I reviewed already, Bing Bong, who I also reviewed, and Flick and Dot, who will be my next and last Wave 2 featured favorites review. And then there on this side, we have some renders of Mike and Celia looking excellent. And okay, with my initial thoughts out of the way, let's go ahead and open this up. And there we go! So amazing, everyone! Just look at them. What a cool idea for a set. My hat goes off to whoever pitched this one and got it approved. Then don't forget, as it is with all the featured favorite sets, the backdrop behind the blister is removable. It's perfect for displaying your figures loose against, if that's your style, and I also find that they really come in handy for toy photography as well. And yeah, this time we have the interior of Harryhausen's sushi restaurant as the background. Again, such an iconic location from the film, so this is just a really cool and unique backdrop here. Alright, so starting here with the accessories, first up we have the sushi board that's seen on Mike and Celia's table in the film. This is a near perfect representation of what it looks like on screen, even down to the placement of the monster-fied sushi, including the little stick poking out from one of the eyeballs. Incredible attention to detail, Mattel. I was so surprised when I compared this accessory to the actual board in the film and saw how close it came to being exact. Well done. Next up, the only other accessory included with this set is this little traditional-looking Asian-inspired kettle that's also seen on Mike and Celia's table in the film. Once again, this is pretty much an exact screen-to-toy match, so very well done, Mattel. Great little world-building accessory for displays. I do wish a simple table accessory was included as well to put these items on, but I understand that maybe just wouldn't have worked out within the price point that Mattel was working with here. Now moving on to the figures themselves, here's this new Date Night Mike, again with his new pleasant smile. He stands right at 4 inches tall, and this is really the exact head over heels look that he gives Celia during their date night together, so kudos to Mattel for theming his look with the theme of this pack instead of just reissuing the original Mike. That's definitely appreciated. So the main body here seems to be an entirely new sculpt. As you can see, it says 2021 Mattel on the back here instead of 2019, so that's good. But I think his arms and legs are the exact same ones from the original figure. I'll compare this one to the 2019 Mike shortly, but that appears to be the case, so this could technically be considered a kit-bashed figure. Now, as far as articulation, there are 9 points. There at the arms, there at the wrists, there at the legs, there at the ankles, And lastly, his eye. Overall, very solid figure. I do wish the featured favorites figures included additional paint deco that the standard figures don't usually include. Like, it would have been nice to have Mike's fingernails and toenails painted here with this one, but that's certainly not a big issue. And for anyone interested, here's this new featured favorites Mike on the left compared to Mattel's standard Mike figure from 2019. As you can see, the limbs seem to be exactly the same while everything else is new. Now moving on to Celia here, again, the very first larger scale articulated Celia ever made. In the original 2001 Hasbro line, they made a little non-posable figure of her. There's also a 2001 McDonald's toy of her, and then of course Mattel made the mini of her, which I reviewed recently, and there's a Funko Pop of her, but there's nothing like this out there, so this is amazing. Celia here stands at about 7.5 inches tall, and just look at all the detail and texture in her snake hair, her dress. I love that everything kind of has a subtle sheen to it. This is pretty much a near perfect figure, and I don't really see any glaring issues or really anything that I would have done much differently at all. I'm sure sculpting her snake hair was a pretty intricate task, but even they turned out awesome, and check it out, I like how the coloring of her snake hair even fades from purple at the top to blue, just like her character design in the film. So cool. The snakes here might be a little too blue, but that's nitpicking. Now, as far as articulation, her head can rotate 360, and it's even on a ball joint, so it can swivel all around like this. And this technically doesn't count as a point of articulation, but I wanted to point out that her snakes are a softer plastic, so they can bend. And then she has arm articulation, and there at the shoulders. Nice range of movement there, as usual. And then there at the elbows. And nothing at the wrists. She can also rotate 360 at her torso. And then her tentacle legs aren't necessarily articulated per se, but they are posable. They're that bendy figure material. If you've ever had any bendable figures, you know what it feels like. I'm not sure if it's a wire inside or just the plastic material itself that's bendy, but yeah, as you can see, you can't pose each individual tentacle. They're molded together as 3 sets of 2, which totally works, by the way. It's actually very effective. Anyway, I counted 6 points of articulation in addition to the posable bendy legs. Oh, and Celia's eye, unlike Mike's, can't be moved around if anyone was wondering. All in all, Celia here is a phenomenal figure that I think any collector could be impressed by. Spot-on likeness, very accurate coloring, very well done articulated sculpt. Can't ask for too much more, huh? Now, as far as how the figures interact with the accessories, Mike best holds the sushi board, and Celia best holds the kettle. And here are these two love monsters together against the included backdrop, and they truly look outstanding. What a set, right? They stand up very well on their own, they're not precarious, which is a good thing for both players and displayers. To wrap things up, I obviously can't recommend this set enough if you're any kind of fan and or collector of Monsters Inc. merch, especially if you've already been collecting Mattel's 7-inch scale Pixar figures. This really is a must-have set for Celia alone, but then you also get this great new Mike sculpt and some unique accessories, so you really can't go wrong at all. And as a surprise little bonus for making it to the end of this review, here as my final shot, we have every single Mattel 7-inch scale Monsters Inc. figure released between 2019 and now. How epic is this collection so far, right? If Mattel continues their Pixar 7-inch scale range, what other Monsters Inc. characters would you love to see get made? For me, I think Roz would make the perfect featured favorites candidate, and I would love to see that figure happen. As usual though, I can't wait to hear your thoughts down in the comments, so be sure to hit me up there. Like and subscribe for more Pixar toy news, reviews, and toy hunts. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you all in my next video.